I guess.
Yes, good morning. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're here at our creator studio, helping women to gain some skills, to move forward, to show up and shine with consistency. And one of the questions that was asked to us, and the reason I asked you to come and chat with us today, is because time management is huge. And that seemed to be an overwhelm, chaotic, whatever topic for a lot of people. So would you please just introduce yourself and just, go ahead and let us know how to work smarter and not harder.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am like in the presence of greatness right now. This is a pool of some powerful women. Come on, an ancestor of a samurai warrior. What? That's amazing. So I am just very, very grateful to be here. And Karen, thank you so much for creating the Creator Studio. So she told me about this like a month ago, and I could not get the name right. I was like, Creators. Did you hear that? I did not mess up Creator Studio. So thank you so much, everyone, for having me here. I'm super, super excited to share with you just knowledge I have attained being an entrepreneur for the last 27 years of my life. So I started my first business when I was 22 years old. It was a brick and mortar. And, you know, when you're 22, what do you know? Everything. And so you think, right? And time is not even an issue, and you whatever. So through the process of building a business, I really learned how to manage my time effectively, because my husband and I raised 3 children. There's a household that needs to be taken care of, right? Laundry, dishes, little humans to be fed. So I'm hearing you, mother of twins in Arizona at 60 degrees. But here's the thing, ladies, that e-learning, all of you are in the e-learning world right now, and that's where we're headed. It's about to be a $300 billion industry by 2025. So good for you for jumping in right now, because this isolation may have only been started in 2020, but the way that business is moving is definitely in the arena of virtual and e-learning, even though we're still going to cohabitate and, enjoy all of Karen's parties and events that we're going to partake in. This is still a great place. I think it was Hillary that's starting a whole digital program, right? That's really a vital place to start seeing your business also, is in the space of digital products, because you can't be everywhere all the time, right? So my passion is really teaching women how to scale their business, to go from turning this off to, when you're in the beginning stage, there's 6 stages of business. And the first 3 are launching and then existing, and then your day-to-day. And then in the middle is growth. That's where I really show up for you, is in the growth phase. And then we go into expanding, and then we go into your exit strategy. And that's usually from growth to exit strategy is between a good 5 to 10 year period. The younger millennials, they like to cut that down in like 3, because they want to be retired by the time they're 27, right? But they also don't have other things going on. Unlike us, we love other things like friendships and eating and sleeping. So with that being said, that's what I'm here to help you see through, really creating an understanding of what time management is for an entrepreneur. Now, entrepreneurship time management is a completely different ballgame than parenting time management, right? Household time management. Entrepreneurship management really needs to be a discipline and a focus, because your time is extremely limited, especially people that like Diane who travel, right? You have to really have an intentional plan on a regular basis. So any way you do that, the smart the SMART program, time blocking, color coding, planners, apps. However you do that is authentic to you, what will make you do it. But what you do is what I'm here to show you. So I am a very interactive teacher. So I need you all to get a piece of paper out, nice, clean piece of paper. But while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. So get a piece of paper out and your pen. You're going to need paper, not your laptop. I'll tell you why. So Wonderful is my birth name, not a stage name. I'm a mother of 3 grown children, 28 and 20. I can't believe I said 28. She's only going to be 27, 26 and 24, and a 20-year-old, and who is actually my COO of Lead Her Academy. I am the CEO and founder of Lead Her Academy. It's a 3-year-old business that just went online. I am also an aspiring author. Y'all, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Oh my gosh. I am feeling you, Lori. Congratulations on your book, by the way. I am also a grandmother to the 2 sweetest humans that exist on earth, a 3 and a 4-year-old. Three interesting facts about me is that I've studied martial arts for 20 years and I have a black belt, 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo. And I did a little bit of Kenpo because I love swords. I just wanted to throw that out there. And then funny thing, I literally hung out with the mafia in a weekend in Vegas, had no idea, 0 clue. But when you're in your 20s, what do you know? And also my first flight is an airline that's going to bring so many memories to some of you. And some of you are going to be like, what? Pan Am. My first flight as 7 years old on Pan Am. And the most gorgeous women I've ever seen in my life was on that flight as flight attendants. They were called stewardesses at the time, though. Okay. So who here is interested in growing their business? Okay, fantastic. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and I'm in the right room. So no matter what stage you are in business, not everybody is ready for growth because some people really do love where they're at, right? And that's okay. But we're in the business of growth for this time that we're together. So what I want you to do is to understand 2 things. There's 2 main reasons why you build a business. Number 1 is eventually you're going to sell it at top dollar. And number 2, you're going to leave it as a legacy for somebody. So both require it to have structures, systems, and processes that is easily given to somebody else, right? You don't sell top dollar if it's just because it's a great idea and it's been running for 10 years. Really, people are buying your system and process because it's the prospect of it growing and scaling even more is the goal. And then there's 4 main pillars to business. Operations, which handles all of your payment systems, your CRM systems, that's your customer relations management systems. I hope you all are familiar with that. If not, we can talk more. Your customer service automation systems, things like that. And then you have your sales and marketing, which is what somebody was creating a funnel already today. Your customer segments, your channels, how you deliver your products and services, your cost structures, all of that goes under sales and marketing. Finance, we all know, do I need to explain finance? However, as an entrepreneur, you know what you really need to keep your eye on in finance? Cash flow. You know what cash flow really is? It's not the cash in your hand. Cash flow is everything that can be immediately sold right now, and it needs to be moving every day. That's the first step in time management is you need to see what needs to be moving every single day towards the big goal. And then the last one is leadership. And leadership is all about fully stepping into the power of your ownership of the business and then taking full ownership of the power of your service. None of this well, should I charge? Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. We are no longer in the business of exchanging time for dollar. We are here to exchange value for dollar. That's what we do. We exchange value for dollar. So is your price fair and affordable? Yes, because the people who need it will pay whatever you ask for. The problem that you're facing sometimes is you think everybody should have what you have, which is true, but not everybody can hear it because you hadn't solidified exactly what your business is and who it's for, right? Because what we often talk about is product features. When people say, what do? You talk about your features and product description, but you rarely talk about the value of the benefit they get. That's a different ballgame. The value of what somebody receives is the benefit they're looking for, but they're not hearing it when you're just describing your product. So when you're talking about what, you know where I'm going with that. All right, enough of all this explanation and let's get down to business. Take your one sheet of paper at the very top. I want you to write what is your goal for your business in 2022. Top, middle, nice and big. What's your goal for 2022? We're only in the third day of February, so we're good. We're not finished with quarter one yet. Once you've written down your goal, I want you to take your paper and I want you to fold it in fours. You know what I'm talking about. You go like this and then you go like this, right? And then you open it up and then there's 4 parts. Because those 4 squares is called your quarters. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. At the top is your goal. And then you have your 4 quarters, right? Now within that 4 quarters, I want you to write down based on the revenue you want to create, your goal, whatever your goal is in 2022 is all attached to revenue. Right, Victoria? You can't avoid money in business. It goes hand in hand. It's actually the measurement of business is income. If you are not making money, you're either in the very, very, very beginning stages or you're in a hobby, but you need to determine that right now, right? If you want growth, you're going to create income. So based on that revenue goal of the year, break down what each quarter you'd have to make to achieve that. What does quarter 1 need to create income? Quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. What income does it need to be at in order to meet the main goal that you wrote at the very top of your page? If you need to bust out some calculators, do it. Okay. Some of you have probably already done this. You're like, wonderful, duh, it's February, but just entertain me, please. Because Marcel will have us laughing in no time. So now each quarter has a number goal, right? Now, underneath that number goal, how many clients or how many books or how many talks or how many travel clients do you need to have to achieve that quarterly number? And realistically, not ones you just have to high five, but actually they buy your service or your products. How many clients or customers do you need to achieve your quarterly goal, which then eventually meets your annual goal? I'm going to give you all about a good minute to get all your numbers down. Okay, 10 seconds left. Don't overthink. Just put it down. All right. Now, this is the beginning stages of how we manage our time. 99.9% of you have already done this. I am in the presence of greatness, so I know you're all goal-driven people. I know that. However, what we need to do is break it down and reverse engineer this goal. Because the next thing you have to know in your business is visibility is like cash flow. It is king. It's king of business. If people don't know what you're doing and who you are, what's it matter? You could literally have diamonds and golds as a product or service and nobody knows. So visibility is the top level of focus when we're creating how we manage our time. Because who here gets really stuck in the busy work? Right. It's because we don't have an exact formula of what we need to be doing every day. And then we just get bogged down on that. Right. So the first thing we have to focus on is now we're going to build a marketing strategy around this goal you wrote down. Right. You have one main annual goal. You've broken it down into 4 quarters, which is how all business runs. Because 4 quarters is 3 months. It gives you enough time to see if that marketing works or if it doesn't and reassess it. Because you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. So if your current strategy is not allowing growth and visibility, where are we headed? Same cycle. So quarters give you an opportunity as an entrepreneur to really see what works and what doesn't work. And not just in your visibility, but in your content, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So number one thing we have to do around building a marketing strategy is based on that information you just wrote down. How much do you need to make per quarter in income? And how many clients do you need to buy your product or service? So that means how many do you need weekly? How many people need to see you weekly? How many people do you need to engage weekly? Write that down. Based on that number, how many people weekly do you need to see you, engage with you, connect with you, communicate with you, right? Put that number down. So both Karen and Mary and Melissa have been in my incubator and we go through this diligently. Like this is what we do regularly. Karen gets like 5, 6, 8, 25, 6. I'm like, oh, wow. She worked. Okay, now based on that weekly number of people you need to make contact with, how many connections, actual connections, like one-on-ones, most of you are, I'm guessing, in your stage of business where your one-on-ones are your close. That's how you close most of your products and services, right? Is on one-on-one calls. How many do you need of those daily? Now you're taking it down even, right? You've got an annual goal, you've got a quarterly goal, you've got a weekly goal, now you've got a daily goal. This is called income producing activity. And it doesn't need to be all day, y'all. Really look at your numbers. What do you need? And then this is how you know how to incorporate all the other people around you to work with you. What everybody else does for a living in here, right? What everybody else's profession here is an addition to your business to meet this goal. That is how you know how to manage your time as an entrepreneur, because you have one goal: get as close as possible to this annual number as you can. And how you'll know it is you watch it every single quarter, right? So if you meet the number every quarter, or you're below it or above it, you know, because then you'll be able to look at your strategy. What did I do? And how many people did I talk to? So that's your marketing strategy, is just to know the numbers, right? Now we're going to bring it down even further to your income producing activities. I'm going to ask you to create, how will you create visibility? That's your number one question. What platform do you use to create visibility? Pick it and write it down now. You can pick 1 to 3, depending on how much energy you have, how much time you have, what's your actual current lifestyle right now. Choose how you're going to create visibility. And for you who have created visibility already, how will you boost that visibility? Pick 3 platforms, and there's a bunch of them. I have a sheet that has like 45 suggested, right? Like you could do emails, you could do free PDFs. I used to teach an entire week course on putting a free event together, because then you get in front of many. So choose 1 to 3 platforms you're going to boost or create visibility for you in your business. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I hope you get some juices flowing now. I hope you're all like, woo, 2022 is going to be rocking. Because what I'm teaching you right now is a system. It's a duplicatable system, right? That you can use every quarter and every year. It's what you look at to build your business. All right. Now, once you've written down what platforms, then you look at how you will build your visibility or boost your visibility based on content. Content is the only way people trust you. They know you because you show up. They like you because the platform you use is one they like. They trust you because your content is completely talking to them. Okay, so then decide what your content will be about, right? And how you're going to put it. But here's the key. Is it clear? Is your content clear? Do people know exactly what you do? And here's how I'm going to ask you. If everyone can put in the chat what their, when people ask them what they do, other than your title, right? Financial coach, business coach, other than your title, what do you actually do? And who do you do it for? If you can identify that down to the core, you have gotten yourself onto the first escalator going up. How do I make that? Oh. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, I love this. Karen, 5 contacts, 1 new client. I love it. Okay, so what I have here is that I help people create a life they love and living. I connect and celebrate women to show up and shine, right? Get butts in seats. Anybody else want to share theirs? Because the last little part that we're going to do is really identifying what you do. Organize and optimize your body work, design, create jewelry that women. I serve families. Now that you have, all of you have just beautifully written this down. You know what you do, right? Now tell me, who do you do it for? Who do you do it for? Do you do it for divorced women? Do you do it for military wives? Do you do it for 20-year-olds? Do you do what you do for professionals in the banking industry? Really break it down to what, because here's the thing, if based on results, you will always know whether or not people hear what you're saying and see what you're doing based on results. If you say, in quarter one, I want to make $5,000, but you made two. There's a gap. There's a $2,000 gap in that income of that month. And you've got to recognize what that gap is. And it's usually having something to do with not clearly identifying three things. Okay. Number one is you've got to know who your target market is, down to the car they drive, where they shop, how many kids they have, what income bracket they're in. Number two, you've got to really understand their pain point. What is your ideal target market's pain point? How do you relate to their pain point? And then number three, how are you the solution? If you can clearly describe those three things, you will now take your business to the next level. And here I'm going to use somebody's as an example. We're going to go with Melissa because she was the first one up. Get butts in seats. She is a event promoter, right? She promotes your events in workshops. Why do people want to have their events seen? Why do they want visibility? Why do you want your events to be seen? What is the core pain? Truly, what is the core pain of why people need you to help them? Bring people on.
I'm struggling with this.
So let's look at only entrepreneurs, right? Business owners.
Yeah.
So at the core, get butts in seats, at the core of their fear is that no one's going to show up, right? They've put all their effort into creating this event, and no one shows up. At the core of a woman, what does that do to you? It makes you feel like you're not enough. It becomes personal all of a sudden. I'm not enough. My stuff's not good enough. And that's not true. It's just that you don't have a plan to get butts in seats. You are an addition to the plan, right? One of the biggest challenges that women have when they're trying to create workshops that people should attend is how often are you communicating it? Because it takes 7 times for people to even recognize. There's 4 billion people online, y'all. There's 7 billion people that is sharing your air. Do you recognize yourself scrolling through social media? How often do you ever just stop? Because, right? So you've got to put it out. Karen is brilliant. Every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, she reposts that Zoom link like we had forgotten about it. It doesn't matter because you can never over communicate. It can never be said enough. For all of you who have this idea of like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm bugging people because they need you. They just don't know they need you. So you have to start really redesigning the way you think about your business. Your business is a gift to the world. You serve people at the capacity of your greatness. People don't buy your product or service, people buy you. So if you're not powerful in your stance as an entrepreneur and the power of your service, people feel that. And if you're in the business of like empowered and confident, and then you're questioning yourself, it's a conflict of energy. And that conflict, your ideal target market feels it. So they won't go. So that's how you know, based on results, right? You aim for this number, you get this number. Because what we're not doing is identifying our business down to the core of what's the pain of our ideal target market. So if Melissa's ideal target market are entrepreneurs who are creating events so they can have more visibility, what's their real fear? That their stuff isn't good enough and they're not going to show up. So how should Melissa be communicating her service? I got you. I'll never leave you. I'm right here for you. Because it matters less to me that you get butts and seats. It matters more to me that you're going to be with me during the struggle of, I don't know if it's going to work. Honest to God, I'm praying it'll work because Wonderful said it would. I am not the magic pill. I just help you with a strategy and a system and a plan. If you're not planning for your success, you're habitually creating your own demise, because success is a habit. It's not a feeling. It's a habit of focus and determination and grit on a daily basis, because entrepreneurship ain't easy. It's never been easy. It will never be easy, but it's fulfilling because you're serving the greater good, right? So with that being said, you really have to look at what is their greatest pain point. Why do people want healed? Because they don't want to die not mattering, right? No one wants to get to the end of their life and go, oh man, right? They want fulfillment. You want fulfillment. Why do we want to go to Marcel and laugh? Because we want life to be more than just sadness and, the media and all, right? Why do we want to go to Victoria to make money? Because at some point, a woman just wants to hold themselves accountable to their own money power. Doesn't have to be forever. It could, right? Why would we want to go to Kim? Because at some point, a woman says, I bought a house, my house, it's mine. I signed it, right? That is what you have to identify as what your business offers, because your industry has more than one person. Your current industry has probably thousands of people in it within a 7-mile radius of where you live. How do you stand out? Because you identify the greatest pain point of your clients and you communicate that effectively in your content. And then you show up in the platform they hang out in. And then you meet with them every single week because you want them to know you understand. And then every single month, you offer them something that reminds them they're not in it alone. And in every quarter, you meet your goal. That, ladies, is how you identify how to manage your time. That's it right there, right? And you can do it any way you want. You could do blocking, time block. I mean, you could put sticky notes all over the place. But it's not about the system of managing time. It's about why you want to manage your time. And the why is that number you initially wrote down. What do you want to create in a year? And how do you get there per quarter? How do you get there per week? And how do you get there per day? And then your only goal is to identify the greatest pain point your ideal client has and suffers in. They're literally suffering right now. Your ideal target market is suffering and they're waiting for somebody to come rescue them. And that's your responsibility. So it's not enough to just, this is great, butts in seat, help people create a life they love. But why? Why don't they love their life now? Really, really look into that. I connect and celebrate women. Why? Because at the end of the day, that why is what matters more to them than your product description and your product feature. Because no product is superior over anybody's. If you're doing the work you've been called to do, everybody's product and service is prime time, supreme. All right, I think I'm done. I could keep talking. I'm looking at my clock going, oh my gosh, you have 10 minutes. Shut it, take it down now. But I will say this as I end, is that there is many stages to this, your ideal target market, because as you grow, growing is really about mastering that system, this system I've just taught you. And then once you've seen a lot of successful results based on this system, then you expand. And expanding is just offering more products, creating more territories, going towards creating more revenue. And that's just more of that. And So you really, really are always working on those three things: pain point, relatability, and solution. That's how you create all of your strategies, is based around that. Like Hillary, your digital products, I'm guessing the reason for that is because you want to address more support for your ideal target market based on their greatest pain point, how you relate to that, right? And then why you're the solution. So go ahead.
Yeah, this was fabulous. As we wrap up, because I'm going to turn off the recording here in just a minute, could you tell the ladies kind of how they can plug into this? Because this has been just such great information about putting our goals out there and getting down to that daily plan of the guiding light, if you will. So what kind of programs do you have that ladies can tap into to help define what that pain point is and some of those other features?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because often I forget to mention that I do have programs. I just like, bye. It was so much fun. I have currently 4 programs, and the first one that I want to offer you all is a free 5-day business leadership retreat. That's in February. We're in February. Sorry about that, but it starts Valentine's Day. It's at 9 a.m. Let me just get all my notes out here. And that is virtual, all on Zoom. And that's really, really to help you get crystal clear on your path, really identifying what your message is and who your message is for. And then the second one I have is, and I only offer that twice a quarter. So it won't be happening in March. So we had it in January, now in February, so in 2 weeks. And then the second one is called AIM, and that's also offered twice a month. It's a 90-day planning. So this quarterly planning I'm talking about, you need to assess that every single quarter, right? So I offer it March. So the first Wednesday and the last Wednesday of March, and the first Wednesday and the last Wednesday of June. Notice they're all at the end of quarters. So it restarts your new quarter. And then my third one is the one that Mary and Karen are in is my incubator masterclass. And it's a 3-month program, and it's really your business blueprint. Like, we take exactly what we did now and we work it into your business consistently, because then you have a solid plan to grow your business. So it's an active business plan. It's like a living business plan. You look at it all the time, you reassess it, and it really takes you into understanding why you're creating your marketing funnel. What does that funnel look like based on your industry? Because not all funnels look the same. It has to be based on your industry, your resources, your time, and what you're willing to do. Because enough of this, like, well, they did it, so I'm going to do it. Then it overwhelms you. That's for the birds. We got to build our business the way we want to build the business. That is by far going to get you more successful than doing it how everybody else is doing it. So those are my 3 programs. And then my last one is by invitation, because you'd have to gone through the incubator to get to the accelerator, because that's like expanding the business. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. Any questions? Because I think we have time.
Yes, we do. Yes. Let me just, I'm going to just stop the recording so people can ask questions.